What's going on, guys? Thanks for watching. Today, I want to discuss the idea of quitting. And I know when you say the word quitting, it usually has a negative connotation behind it. He quit the football team, she quit dance class, they quit this, they quit that. And there's always kind of a negative definition to it. Like, oh, they didn't try hard or work hard, or they're a loser, or they're a quitter, right? But I don't want that to be the tone of this video or the focus of it. Instead, I want to focus on how quitting something or stopping from doing something can open up space in your life or open up the opportunity in your life to try something, to take a leap of faith, to try something that is out of your comfort zone, to try something that scares you or keeps you up at night. And then maybe 10, 15 years now, you look back and say, hey, you know what? That one time I quit that thing and opened up a space in my life and filled it with something different, that was the best decision I ever made. Before we get into what I decided to quit, we need to rewind a little bit first. And so we need to rewind back to January of this year, 2019. In January of 2019, Andrew Kiekler and I opened a company. We decided to start a company, and that company was Midwest Made. And Midwest Made essentially is my programming that Andrew programs for me that I do in a day in and day out basis. We decided to sell my exact programming, every set, every rep, everything. That way, people could see that there's not really any secret sauce or secret magic in programming. Instead, it's just the hard work you put in that could take you to the next level. And so we decided to open that company in January. And it was a huge blessing. We started it. It was a lot of hard work. And we realized it went off really well. Like, we had a lot of people sign up. We started a really great community. We got a lot of people involved, and we had a really good time with it. But then as you move on months in, like the next month, the month after that, you realize that being self-employed and owning your own company is really hard work. Like, when you start the company, you make it all romantic sounding in your mind, and then you realize that there's a lot of things you didn't think about that you have to do, tax paperwork. And so at that time in my life, we're getting near the Open 2019. And at that time, I'm trying to juggle a lot of different balls at that time. I'm trying to run Midwest Made with Andrew. I'm trying to train for the CrossFit Games, or train through the Open to make it to the CrossFit Games. I'm trying to hold on a full-time job through Esponte Technologies, and at the same time, I'm trying to run a YouTube channel. And I realized quickly that it was too much. Like, there was too much on my plate. I couldn't do all these 4 things, not to mention hang out with my wife and live a normal life. I'm trying to juggle all these different balls, and there's just too much. I can't do it all, and I can't give each one the focus that it deserves. So after a lot of discussions with my wife, talking to my family, talking to friends like Cole Sager and Brett Fikowski, who had done similar things in their career, and praying about it, I realized that the one ball I couldn't continue to juggle, the one ball I couldn't hold up, that I had to drop, that I had to quit, was my full-time job. And so this past June, I actually decided to quit my full-time job. And so for the past 2 months, I've actually been self-employed. And so you might be asking yourself, okay, well, why are you telling us now? Like, it's been like 2 months. Well, first of all, I guess I'm really not required to tell you guys anything. But second of all, like, I made a mental decision not to, like, hey, I quit my job, like, a couple days after I quit. Because the idea of, I didn't want it to seem that I was quitting my job for the games. I didn't want it to seem that, oh, I'm just quitting my job because I want to focus just on CrossFit. And now, I'm not going to deny the fact that there is a perk to that, right? So, because I quit my job and I have more time now, I can focus on training. I'm not denying that that doesn't exist. What I want to say is, I didn't quit my job just to focus on CrossFit 24/7. Instead, like I mentioned, the company I had started with Andrew in January, I wanted to run it to the ground. I wanted to run it out and see what would really happen. I decided, you know what? 20 years from now, I'd like to look back and say, hey, I tried, I quit my job, I made a leap of faith, and I tried. Now, regardless of the output from it, regardless of what I reap from it, so let's say it does amazing. 20 years from now, I can say, man, I made a great decision. I quit my job, I quit a great company, but I quit my job and made a great decision to run this company and see what happens. Or the other side of it is, hey, I quit my job, and looking back, it wasn't a good decision. But that's the beauty of it, right? Because you can learn from it. And that's the thing I want to impress on you guys, is to motivate you to make those decisions, make those leaps, and make those changes that are scary. Like, I'd be lying to you if I didn't tell you that I was scared to quit my job. I was scared. My wife and I are still scared. Like, it's not a, oh, I quit my job 2 months ago and now it's fine. Absolutely not. Like, it's still weighing on our mind, like, was that the right decision? But like I mentioned, I don't want to look back at my life and say, oh, I didn't take any chances, and so, I just kind of stayed status quo. I don't want to stay status quo. I want to see what happens. If I start this company in January, and I've done CrossFit for this many years, and I've started this YouTube channel a year ago, I want to run these things into the ground. I want to see where it goes. I want to see if I can give it my full time, where I can run this dream to, and where I can see myself in 20 years from now. Who knows? But we're going to find out.